Hello, it's Jules here, and I'm bringing you another diorama battle here. I like to produce these different Star Wars battles in a diorama form, and this one's Geonosis. Very interesting. The battles that happened here, the wars that were fought, were very important ones because the Geonosians, they were kind of an insectoid type of person, and they were basically underground and controlled by a queen. And it was quite a thing because they had battle droid foundries below ground, so they were underneath here. Geonosis was an interesting place because it was a desert planet, and they had these droid foundries that were below ground, and that was the critical part why they had to be overturned, because they were building some crazy droids, and they were going to the point where they were the ones that started the construction of a Death Star. That's how good they were at producing these different automated machines. So it was important for the Republic to take over and destroy these foundries. So there were some battles that were fought. The Death Star was being constructed above the planet. And then 5 years after the conflict's conclusion and the transformation of the planets, at least 5 years after the Clone Wars, the Empire moved the Death Star to another construction site, and the planet was sterilized by the Empire. Can you believe that? So these insectoid population was sterilized and eliminated the native population. So there's quite an interesting stories involved here. And that's why it's so fascinating to try to reconstruct it. And also just the way the landscape was and who was involved. So, what I thought I'd show you is some of the things that I had to construct to put this together. Number one, the bricks. You had a medium nougat. So you can see there's two colors that dominate the landscape. So you've got to have a lot of these, but the medium nougat and then the dark orange. So there's two main colors that are used. And the landscape is very unusual, as you can see. And you'll see mocks that are done of people who have created these. And these are usually the two colors they're going to go with. Now, you can buy, like these are the droids on this side. And there were all kinds of clone trooper and battle droid packs. The AATs, these tanks, they were used quite a bit by the droids. They're called armored assault tanks, AATs, and they'd be controlled by 4 droids. So you can see a droid that's inside that tank right there. They had all kinds. They had spider droids. They had all kinds of things at their disposal, and it was quite a handful to attack these guys. Over here, you can see way over on this side, Obi-Wan is leading some clone troopers over here. That's Obi-Wan over there, and he's leading some. You also had a very important person here, Anakin Skywalker. I'm just showing you some of the key people that we all know. There's Anakin, and he's leading another group. And there's his Padawan. Okay, right here. Can you notice who that is? This is what was interesting about these battles, is that a lot of these guys were, this is some of their first big battles and important battles that they fought and won. So, yeah, this is really cool. So on this side now, what I did here, a lot of these come from battle packs, so you can get a lot of the clones. You'll see there's different clones in here. This one here, one of the most important things that they had, the Republic on their side, is these gunships. Now, this one's a little guy. It's a Coruscant gunship. And this came fairly recently that these were available. And the scale is better for a battle like this. I have a much bigger one. And it's, I don't know, 3 or 4 times this size. But this is the perfect size. I just changed some of the plates because this was mostly red before and I made it more white. And but the gunships were important. The gunships also, they were brought in, interestingly enough, I don't have that, but they are brought in by these carriers, and these carriers kind of drop them down into the battlefield. So, but they are available. If a person wanted to really get one, they could. Over here, so a lot of these times you have to kind of look for some of this stuff, but you have to take some of the key things. There were a lot of things in these battles, but the gunship here, that was really, really important to have the gunship. And if you didn't have that, you were missing out a key component of their battle stuff. So then there's so you've got those, and then you've got these all Terran tactical enforcers. It's called an ATTE, and this is like a tank. And it's kind of funny because the legs here are all articulated. See all the legs? There's 6, 3 on each side, and they're all articulated, so they adapt to different Terrans and stuff. And you can just see the armament on this thing. It's loaded with different armament and stuff. And there you go. They're proceeding forward. And, it's kind of cool. You can see it was quite the battle. I've got some images here. I can show you some of the first images of this battle and how crazy these droids were. So you have a book here, and I've been referencing this book quite a bit, but you can just see how the droids were pretty intimidating. There was all kinds of them too. This was the first battle that was fought. They were trying to come up to some peace agreement, and the Jedi were caught, and the droids surrounded them, but they were rescued. One of the bad guys at that time who was leading this group was Count Dooku. And he snuck off the first time when they tried to get him. He snuck off with the plans, which were critical, those plans, for constructing this crazy planet they were constructing. Anyway, here you can see some of the droids, spider droids, and some of the battle scenes. Here you can see the walkers and all kinds of stuff in action. Here's that drop ship I was telling you about that drops these guys. Okay, there's the drop ship right there. And yeah, you look at these, all these kind of battle droids and everything. They were against a lot of armament, as you can see here. And there's Dooku with his escape. He did get away, and he had the plans that he got away with. So you can see, though, look at the coloration in here, and you can see the color here is very similar to that. Now, I have a little treat, too. You don't see these in many sets, but these are Geonosians. See that? So this is like an insectoid. See that? Look at this. Just look at this guy. Like an insectoid. Insectoid or whatever. See the wings? I just wanted to show you that. I just have them. They weren't in this part of the battle because they're underground, but this part here is above ground, and these guys create in their droid factories all the droids that do all their bidding for them. So I thought I'd just show you this. I've been wanting to do this for a long time because this is one of my fun ones. It took a little bit of work to develop it, especially the background. You'll often see in pictures and that you'll see these kind of backgrounds like this in this planet. So I just wanted to do that, to build that and construct it sort of in a similar way. And there's guys that have done massive armies showing this battle, but this is a nice little one that you can do, and just getting all the parts and that and having fun with it. So anyway, thought I'd show you that and give you a complete view of what I have as my diorama. I love doing these dioramas, so I'll continue doing them. I'll just show you, just take a break here, and I'll come back and I'll show you a gunship that I had built as well. Not this little guy, but a big one. Okay, so this is another portrayal of a gunship, but this is a huge version. You can see it's big, monster size. You can see how small the clone troopers are in there. You could fit a whole pile of them inside this one. But this is the way often Lego would come up with their elite builds, where it's right up at the top, as big as you can get and with more features than you could ever get. And so there's all the specs they were showing on the Republic gunship here. And so I thought I'd show you that too, compared to the little guy that I have that I was using over there. Okay, so that's everything, and I want to thank you very much for coming along this little journey. Hope you can get involved and study it a little bit, because a lot of work was put into getting this whole, if you think Star Wars, the way it was created and all the stories in there, it's quite amazing when you start following it up. And there's absolutely so much detail that have written these big books of reference on them, and it's amazing, like to put in all the detail of how stuff was created and constructed, and it's just quite amazing. So anyway, just thought I'd share this all with you, and take care and hope to see you again.